There's a concentrated effort to stop it. They'll do anything to stop us, especially now. Because where is our opposition?
He's been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master teacher, freedom for the master teacher, freedom for the master teacher, freedom for the master teacher. 'Cause he's the man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building Tamare. He put his life on the line for us all. And for the truth, the lies must fade away. It's been a long time coming. Yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking. It won't be long to make our dreams come true. For a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. Said, how about you? For the master teacher, freedom 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 for the master teacher. Think not that we are earthborn, so come from earth we may be, but we are light-born spirit, and without knowing we can never be free. Knowledge of this was lost when we were cast into blindness. The master teacher came and broke the chains of bondage. For the master teacher, freedom 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 for the master.
They did everything in their power to take this land and make sure that what's happening right now does not go on. They tried every trick in the book. They ain't finished. They tried slander, defamation of character. They tried to divide brothers up, harass sisters on the street, stop every car coming down to make sure they did everything they could. And not one person come out and help us. Why? Because they had us marked as a cult. Oh, there's some crazy suicide cult. There's a concentrated effort to stop it. They'll do anything to stop us, especially now. Because where is our opposition?
He's been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master master, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher. 'Cause he's a man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building Tamare. He put his life on the line for us all. And for the truth, the lies must fade away. Fade away. It's been a long time coming. Yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking. It won't be long to make our dreams come true. For a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. Said, how about you? For the master, master teacher, freedom 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 for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Think not that we are earthborn, we come from earth, we maybe, but we are here. Knowledge of this was lost when we were cast into blindness. The master teacher came and broke the chains of bondage. For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, bring it master teacher, bring it freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, bring it master teacher, bring it freedom for the master, master teacher, 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 freedom for the master, master teacher.
The power to take this land and make sure that what's happening right now does not go on. They tried every trick in the book. They ain't finished. They tried slander, defamation of character. They tried to lock brothers up, harass sisters on the street, stop every car coming down to make sure they did everything they could. And not one person come out and help us. Why? Because they had us marked as a cult. Oh, there's some crazy suicide cult. There's a concentrated effort to stop it. They'll do everything to stop us, especially now. Because where is our opposition?
He's been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher. 'Cause he's a man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building Tamare. He put his life on the line for us all. And for the truth, the lies must fade away. Fade away. It's been a long time coming. Yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking. It won't be long to make make our dreams come true, for a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. And how about you? For the master, master teacher, freedom 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 for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Think not that we are earthborn, so come from earth we may be, but we are life-born spirit, and without knowing we can never be free. Knowledge of this was lost when we were cast into blindness. The master teacher came and broke the chains of bondage. For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, bring it master teacher, bring it freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, bring it master teacher, bring it freedom for the master, master teacher, 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 freedom for the master.
They did everything in their power to take this land and make sure that what's happening right now does not go on. They tried every trick in the book. They ain't finished. They tried slander, defamation of character. They tried to lock brothers up, harass sisters on the street, stop every car coming down, make sure they did everything they could. And not one person come out and help us. Why? Because they had us marked as a cult. Oh, there's some crazy suicide cult.
Bring home now, bring home now. It's freedom, master teacher. Bring home now, bring home now. It's freedom, master teacher.
There's a concentrated effort to stop it. They'll do everything to stop us, especially now. Because where is our opposition?
He's been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher. 'Cause he's a man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building Tamare. He put his life on the line for us all, and for the truth the lies must fade away. It's been a long time coming, yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking, it won't be long to make our dreams come true, for a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. And how about you? For the master, master teacher, freedom 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 for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master. without knowing we could never be free. Knowledge of this was lost when we were cast into blindness. The master teacher came and broke the chains of bondage. For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, bring the master teacher, bring the master teacher, for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, bring the master teacher, bring the master teacher, for the master, master teacher, freedom 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 for the master.
They did everything in their power to take this land and make sure that what's happening right now does not go on. They tried every trick in the book. They ain't finished. They tried slander, defamation of character. They tried to lock brothers up, harass sisters on the street, stop every car coming down, make sure they did everything they could. And not one person come out and help us. Why? Because they had us marked as a cult. Oh, there's some crazy suicide cult. There's a concentrated effort to stop it. They'll do everything to stop us, especially now. Because where is our opposition?
He's been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher. 'Cause he's a man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building Tamare. He put his life on the line for us all. And for the truth, the lies must fade away. Fade away. It's been a long time coming. Yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking. It won't be long to make our dreams come true. For a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. How about you? For the master, master teacher, freedom 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 for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Think not that we are earthborn, we come from earth, we may be, but we are life-born spirit, and without knowing we can never be free. Knowledge of this was lost when we were cast into blindness. The master teacher came and broke the chains of bondage. For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, bring the master teacher, bring the master teacher, for the master, master teacher. master. Bring the master teacher. Bring the freedom for the master. Master teacher. 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 Freedom for the master.
They did everything in their power to take this land and make sure that what's happening right now does not go on. They tried every trick in the book. They ain't finished. They tried slander, defamation of character. They tried to lock brothers up, harass sisters on the street, stop every car coming down and make sure they did everything they could. And not one person come out and help us. Why? Because they had us marked as a cult. Oh, there's some crazy suicide cult. There's a concentrated effort to stop it. They'll do anything to stop us, especially now. Because where is our opposition?
He's been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. 'Cause he's a man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building Tamare. He put his life on the line for us all. And for the truth, the lies must fade away.
Rahubat Moisar. How you all doing? Welcome again to another OSM Vision live Q&A. Ask us anything. Just waiting for more people to join. Share the room, share the links, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Choco Rahubat. Corinne Rahubat. Tai Rahubat. Nephthys Ra Rahubat. Yeah, hope you guys are getting your track, Freedom for the Master Teacher. The link's gonna be in the comment. So download as soon as you as soon as you make your free will donation of, I think it's $1.50 or something like that, you can download it and enjoy it, share it. Share the link, that is. Amsterdam in the house, Rahubat. South Africa in the house, Malawi, truly worldwide. Kenya in the house. I hope you guys are studying. You know, there's so much outformation into information. And you can call in live as usual. Greetings everyone on Facebook, everyone on the other channels, YouTube, Insta. Yeah. Welcome indeed, welcome. Yeah, I want to say something. I'll get it off my chest quick. I know we say, ask us anything. I think some people take that a bit too literally, like, there's some information you can just find on Google and AI and You know, so when you say like, tell me about cats, someone asked that question last week. Of course, I elaborated and went into useful information, but when you just ask like, tell me about cats, I mean, that's just so broad and so vague. Just what I'm saying. So please, when you're asking questions, come from the scrolls, because then, sorry, King, this has just gone to something else. Yeah, just ask questions that pertain to the doctrine, that the information Partner Babyanun's been putting out. Quote the reference of the book or whatever the sources of the, you know what I mean, the information that you're asking the question from. But, you know we say ask us anything, but like, keep it a bit sensible as well, right? Right, let's see who's on. Reye Sananda Rahubat tour.
If it refreshes, it disappears.
Yeah, that's what happened. It just went. Mrs. TBJ Rahubat. The real Apis Rahubat. Crowd favorite media Rahubat. Bruska Noise Rahubat. Keith Albina Rahubat. Alex Rahubat. Trying to make sure I give you. Rahubat means greetings, okay, in our language. Coco Brown in the house, Rahubat. At A Online, Rahubat. Crowlo L Rahubat. Lydian Rahubat. Okay, I'm not going to say Rahubat to everybody, but Mrs. TBJ, much respect and a shook for your donation. Every little counts. Roderick in the house, Rahubat. Virgin Island in the house, Rahubat. Yeah, many of you are joining from all over the world, Rahubat. Simon Stern, Rahubat. RR Unite, Rahubat. If I miss anybody out, Nadum. Sorry, it's not intentional. It's not personal. As usual, let me get me some Miss Iris Moss so we can get that energy up and we can get into answering your questions for today. This stuff is so good. Anyone that has actually come in and tried it in the store, they're just like, I know what you're saying now, Saken. But let me just take that famous sip. Man, this stuff is so good. Healthy and good. We got a call already. Rahubat. Greetings, caller. What's your name, where you calling from, and what's your question, please?
My name is Kerry, Jamaica.
Yes, Rahubat. Greetings.
Greetings.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing fine.
All right, let's get your question in.
Okay, so when I was watching some of your videos, I remember you saying something like you can have a person that has a male spirit and they're in a male body. And you can also have a person
no,
that's
you mean a male
spiritually
spirit
a female and they're in a
body.
male body as well.
No,
right?
no, it's the other way around. You can have a male body with a female spirit, or you can have a female body with the male spirit. You follow? You still there?
Oh, okay. So can you tell me, so why is that? I mean, what is the purpose of that? What is the purpose of being spiritually female on the inside if you have a male body?
Because, okay, there are different reasons. In ancient times, those beings that had what we call a double resonance would have that, because they needed to receive a portion of a double portion so that they can help with things like opening the gates, because it's a vibration and a frequency, yeah. But spirits are recycled, so it's kind of like saying, why are you male or female in terms of your gender? There are certain conditions and things that make you have a particular gender, where the mother decides that, and that's based on the environment that she's in, the conditions she's in, and whether or not she's been stressed, because you're dealing with hormonal changes, and that then manifests or affects the DNA. So this is why it's very important that when a female is pregnant, that she's in a particular state of mind and in a specific type of environment that will not agitate the growing, or that, you know, being put together from that genetic perspective. So there are different reasons, and like I said, because spirits are recycled, it may be that one of your ancestors, let's say like in your family, let's say your grandma, or if it was the grandma, the female side passed, that spirit might be recycled with a new child, and it depends on which child is born at that specific time. So if it was a female spirit and then, you know, you happen to have a child that is a male at that alignment during that specific time, then that spirit might be the one that is housed within that vessel. But you can also have situations where, when we're talking about spirits, we have a part of that called 30 spirits, which I'll look for, meaning that there are spirits, that there are regulations or rules in the spirit world. So, for example, there are rules where certain spirits can come with you as you're being born and stay with you for a specific time and then leave. And there are other ones that can leave, can stay with you for a very long time. So there are a number of partaraks: soul, spirit, sex force, spirit force, and the main one that I'm looking for is 30 spirits, that actually goes into a lot more details. See, when Parnababyanung, Dr. Malachi Z.K. York teaches us, it's on various levels, you know. So you would start off with like the kind of basic information, but then he goes into more details concerning like the spirit world and, you know, the rules of engagement in that world. Here you go. This is the one I'm looking for, 30 spirits. And I'm going to see if I can find a part. Right, so in terms of spirits, in this Partarak 30 spirits, it says from, I'll go from verse 6. You must remember what and who you are to all others. Yeah. Then 7, it says, you must bind the 30 spirits that seek to control you. Right. So the 8, the very voices of your own Salafu ancestors who lived in the image of the beast and at Tamwat, death, have been trapped in his hell. 9, you must bind them and free them from the realm of hell, that you will be free of their whispers into your abab, heart, and akal, mind, which affects your very actions each zaman, day of your life. 10, the sawat'u, voices who whisper to your inner mind as to what is best to do, what is right to do, and what is good to do. Then you have the others. 11, and the sawat'u, voices who whisper to your inner emotions and desires what is not best for you and others, what is not right to do and what is not good for you. The whispers that are agreeable and the whispers that are disagreeable. 14, your choice, your will is influenced by the very voices of and in your DNA. You see, so, and then it goes on to explain that each of those 30 spirits also all have their own 30 spirits. So when you're dealing with spirits, you have unclean spirits and you have clean spirits. You have spirits that will attach themselves to you. So let me jump to 25, verse 25, where it says, all one's life, these evil spirits can have their way, mess up their lives, and hinder their learning by erasing the memory in the subconscious mind, making it seem hard to learn, to remember, destroying your life. 26, leading you to drugs, drinking, smoking, sex, crime, to lying, to stealing, and to killing, making you live by danger, chance, gamble, giving you diseases and sickness, making you think you're mad, crazy, and insane. 27, and there are also walk-ins that are eternal links and transfers from one person to another by many means other than sex. Yeah, and just as the soup from your bowl does not taste the same as the soup in another person's bowl, eating from the same pot served at the same time. The question is why? 29, because once it is yours, you send out your etheric rays from your solar plexus, becomes a part of you, and the same for each person, to each his own. All right. So then you've also got, like I jumped to 31, just as disease can be passed on, airborne or liquid, so also is the spirit being passed on. 32, your inner ancestors will protect you once you open up to them and speak with those good in your DNA who have transformed from jasad, flesh, and damam, that's blood, to ka, spirit, yeah, and ark, ether. Yeah, so in terms of the original question, I'm just saying to you that there are specific people that have what we call a double resonance, and one of those beings was Uncle Aten, right? Uncle Aten. So he was a person that had, if you look at him, he looked female on the physical because he had hips and he had mammary glands, and you know, his shape was very feminine, but he also had a male spirit, you see. So there are those, and he was one of those people that was a gate, was able to open gateways. So there's that, and then there are different spirits in terms of, like I just explained, genealogy, as well as walk-ins, and you have even like legions of spirits which are
So when you said that he can open gateways, you mean he can go to other worlds?
Yeah, so if you know about like the time, space, and matter, which we refer to as the smack circle, the fabric of, the fabric that connects or blocks you from one different dimensional realm to the other, there are ways you can open gateways, like portals, to go from one to the other. You know, like even in movies like say Star Trek, you see when they go into warp speed and then they go into a completely different realm, right? So yes, there are people, in order to open certain gates, they need to have the formula, which is normally like tones. They have to be able to use that key or the tones to open those gates, you know. So now you have people like CERN, right? CERN, they use like the Hadron Collider to smash atoms together, and that opens up certain portals and the fabric that, you know, we say that everything is surrounded by, or things that time, matter, and space work together, but there are ways that you can, you know, break the time or the speed of light, and then able to travel at warp speed and then go into different places you would never be able to go without knowing how to do that. But there are beings who know the formula to just say the tones or invoke and open up certain portals or gateways. Did you ever watch the show Stargate?
No, but I understand that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so Stargates are also another way that they use to to go through that, you see a circle will open up, but when you go through it, you end up somewhere else. They also show you this in the movie Doctor Strange. Yeah, watch Doctor Strange. You see them. They also do that where they have a gate or a stargate, and they can walk through. But those beings who know the secrets and have the double resonance or frequency, they're able to do that. And when you look at the Dendera, which is where they get the zodiac, if you look at the Dendera map, yeah, which was mainly found in the temple of Hathor, okay, you'll see that they show you these beings, two of them each, because these two beings needed the double resonance, and it's normally a male and a female, and each one then has the spirit of, like I said, if they're male, they will have the female spirit, and if they're female, they will have the male spirit. But these are things that were done with rituals to be able to open gates and go to different places. And even the movie Fifth Element with Bruce Willis, you see, they needed to be able to also stop certain things happening, and they did that by using what they call the elements, right? Earth, wind, and fire. But there was an air. What did I miss out? Earth, wind, water, fire. Yeah, and then the fifth element was Ashok, or what, divine love or love. That's why if you look at that movie, you see that when, you know, the alien being that came down, that was saying bada bing, bada boom, when she was she was seeing all the destruction and all the things that
Milovovich.
yes, that was doing to the earth. They just needed to show love to be able to put all those elements together to stop the destruction, if you follow me. I've given you a lot of references that you need to, yeah, go ahead. Go and look at.
I don't want this part to sound like a weird question, but I'm wondering if a person is spiritually female on the inside and they have a male body, can that be why some people are transgender?
Yes, this is what is taking place with some people, because they don't understand that science, like why they feel like the opposite sex on the inside, and all their life they feel like they're a male on the inside or a female on the inside, but on the outside it's not reflecting that. So they have these emotions and, you know, ways they can't really deal with the world, and they try to explain it to people like, you know, I'm actually a female, because they feel and know on the inside that they are, but then on the outside people have a difficult time accepting that. But like I said, every situation is different. So you do have some people that are just oversexed, so they will obviously they swing always, some people. So then you've got some people that are just experimenting, and then you've got those who have those, like I said, internal, which is real. So what they find it very difficult struggling to be on the outside what they are on the inside. So the solution is, they say to themselves, you know what, instead of me continuously acting and behaving like I'm a female and people are looking at me sideways, I would transform my physical appearance to match what I'm on the inside. So then it becomes natural to them to be like, you know, wearing female clothes, or, you know, just behave. Their mannerisms and everything is going to be now female. But when they don't know what's going on this level that Partner Babyanun is teaching us, then, like you say, they become like cross-dressers, and it's not a simple thing, because every situation is different and it's a complex situation, and each situation would have to be looked at its own merits. So Yeah, but you have to look at individual situations based on the person. Some will tell you what I just said, because until the master teacher spoke on this, it was something that we didn't really understand. But you also have beings that are androgynous, which means that they're more neutral gender and they promote that. And you have those beings, they're from Andromeda. You see, so a lot of the planet is ruled and run by extraterrestrials. Why the planet is called Plan ET. It's an extraterrestrial planet. So it is a melting pot right now where you have natural beings, you have hybrid beings, you have cyborgs, which are mixed machinery with, flesh. Then you have robots. Then you have robots that have AI, artificial intelligence. You have beings that are shapeshifters. There are just so many things going on the planet that it's not as simple as people may think. You can look at someone and just think they're just a physical human being, but they may not be. So the master did say to us, there was going to become a time where no one's going to know who is who on the planet until he actually starts to tell you. And then he has been dissecting that and now giving us information. See, most people don't recognize that when we're talking about the Adamites, let me find something for you. There are specific alien groups, right? I'm going to read this for you. So it says, I'll go from, let me just go from from 6. It says, Wu-Nuwapu is the sawab, truth, that is vanquishing the khadab lies, deceit, and akad beliefs, as well as many deceptions, fictions of outright religious falsehoods of other races, and the Adamites, who were made 6,000 Shamut years ago, back from Shamut year 2000 AD. This is what I really want you to pay attention to. By 6 Hawa'at groups of Muhmeyu or Hameyu, aliens. The us, the we of the Bible, Quran, and Book of Mormon, they're now being exposed. Right? These are the beings that we're talking about. These 6 groups of beings. 1, the Anunnaki, which everybody seems to be talking about. 2, the Pleiadians. 3, the Dragonians. 4, the Aldebaranians. 5, the beings from Arcturus. And the ones I just mentioned, 6, the Andromedans. You see, so these are the beings that they're calling in the books God, God's Lord, Lord Elohim, the Eloha, El, Alihat, Allah, Ilah, Rab, Rabban, Barban, etc., etc. So it's just that they just became different dialects of the one original language of the Kameu, the aliens, who taught the Adamu or the Adamite race over time. You see, so yeah, it's a very complex thing. But to go back to your original question, yeah, those beings that have the double resonance and frequency, they feel weird, they're different, they can be very flamboyant, they can be very like loners, very different. They're very different. So, all right. Anything else?
Okay, one last question. So, even though we know of a few humanoid aliens like the Anunnaki and the Pleiadians, but would you say that there are countless humanoid alien species throughout the universe?
Absolutely. Yes, that's the reality that we're trying to teach, because when you look at the cosmos and look at our planet is just one tiny planet in a multiverse, omniverse. So different life forms exist, and they would take on the form and shape and appearance of the environment that they're in. You see, so like you have star systems that have multiple suns, or you know, like the tri-solar system, which is separate from ours, where we have one sun, one predominant sun anyway. So yeah, there are many beings and species, and there are more and more every day because of the mixtures between the different beings. Much like on the planet today, you have your original root races, and then they have now mixed amongst themselves, and the mixtures come out and they mix with other mixtures, and you know, it's just, yeah, it's very there's a lot of mixtures now. So it's the same when you're dealing with extraterrestrials, and extraterrestrials have
And when
also
I
mixed with humans and hybrids. And yeah, go ahead.
And when I say humanoid, I mean like they have skin similar to ours and hair like us.
Yeah, remember I just explained about there are beings that shapeshift to look just like us.
Okay.
And there are beings that now, they show you now, they're advertising skin suits that people are wearing. And now on AI, on social media, there's a big thing going on now where people are pulling off their masks and revealing aliens. Some will say, oh, it's just AI. But the thing is, you're not going to be able to differentiate between what's real and what's not real. And that's an opportunity for some of these extraterrestrials to come out and make it into a joke, or like you just think, oh, it's just AI. And some of them, even now, there are ways you can detect whether something is AI for real or if it's not. But it's about the confusion of mixing the two together, so you don't know what's real from what's not real.
I think they released AI on purpose for that reason, to trick us.
Yeah, we already explained that, you know, like anything else, it's a tool, and you have to know what its objective is, who released it and why, and are you using it or are you allowing it to use you? It's the same with any technology you have, even your smartphones or whatever you have. Like, you have to be on top of it or in control in terms of your knowledge of it. So yes, you should master these tools, but not to the point where you allow them to control you. So the more knowledge you have about anything, the more, you know, you're going to be making informed decisions and choices. Yeah, this has disappeared again. All right.
All right, thank you.
Can I just ask, do you read any of the scrolls? Have you read any of the scrolls by Pana Babyanun?
I don't have the money to buy any.
Okay, there's plenty in the Telegram group. We do share a lot of information, and that's why we have the classes. It's important to try and read as much as you can for yourself, but fair enough, I hear you. We'll try and get some scrolls to you.
Okay, thank you.
Are you in our Telegram chat?
Okay, thanks.
Okay, cool. Right, Rahubat, everyone on Facebook. People are from Amsterdam. Okay. Remember, you can call us on, if you're calling from outside the UK, area code +44 753 99 63 882. One more time. +44 if you're outside the UK. So that's +44 753 99 63 882. Call in and ask your questions live. Anton in the house, Rahubat. Wilfred Rahubat. Okay, let's see what the next question. Satak Rahubat. We got people in Australia in the house, Rahubat. Yeah, before we take the next call or I answer the next question, it is important to read the scrolls. We don't want this just to be like, don't become just an information junkie, you know, meaning that you just get hooked on information and it's just like, you haven't really mastered one book or the scroll you've got, but you want another 10 and another 20 and another, like, information or knowledge is to be used for your benefit. And yes, we don't mind giving information, but over time, you know, you just get so much information, but you don't do much with it. You have to apply it. And one of the things we keep encouraging everyone to do is to go to their local stores, be active and helpful, go to the communities. You know, we're real people. Don't just be a social media person or like a shadow person who just hides behind these devices. So don't become just an information junkie. Every time that they come and when I go to it, it disappears.
If you scroll down, it's gone.
It's all right, so I'm just gonna have to leave it then.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, let's see what other questions we've got. Oh yeah, somebody asked, is Hitler, I just saw that question, where was that question? That people are saying Hitler's black. The thing is, yeah, that's a good question in the sense of, like, when we use these words like black and white, we have to ask, define black or define white. What makes somebody white or what makes somebody black? Right? The reality is these terms are constructs that were made up at a specific point in time because of people that wanted to push divisions and racism by way of these extraterrestrials and religions. So anyone who has black DNA is black. And the thing is, the way they defined white was that you wouldn't be able to have a drop of black blood in you. Because if you had one single drop of black blood or DNA, you're no longer considered white according to that definition. But remember, I already said, there is no such thing as black and white people, right? It's about the DNA. So when you look at Hitler, to answer the question, he was following an agenda of trying to create a supreme race, right? That was blonde hair, blue eyes, which somebody may considered white. But these were the Nordics who came by way of these Pleiadians that I mentioned before, which is one of these 6 extraterrestrial beings. And they were trying to get him to produce beings in their image and their likeness. You see, so that's why the blonde hair, blue eye was so important to him. But if you look to him himself, he had dark hair. He was not Nordic, he was really from Austria, you see? And you have to look at people's eyes, yeah? Look at their pupils. Is it blonde and is it blue, or is it brown, or is it gray? Like, look at the eyes, look at the fur or the hair, and then look at where that DNA will come from. So that's what I mean by, some people will just try and make everyone black, you know, like people say, oh, King James was black. And then they will put images, and it's easy for anyone to take any image and make it black or make it white. That doesn't mean that's what they were or that is true. So Hitler was not fully 9 Ether Nagaru, if that's what you mean. But like we say all the time, anyone that has dark fur, dark eyes, and even, you know, the complexion in terms of how they react to the sun. Because some people will be in the sun and they will never get like dark or get brown. Because you have to start to look at the types of melanin. Because you got, you know, the phenomelanin. There's so many reasons to what makes up a person. That's why the master says you can't really, and then you can't really judge people just by looking at them or just by the color of their skin. Because that's a skin suit, yeah? And to add to the complexities of what I already spoke about in terms of the inner being and the spirit and the soul, if they have one, or if it's activated, if they have one. You see, so yeah, that question once you define what's white based on the definition, then you can know what is not white or black using those terms. All right? All right. Go for it.
Rahobat Seken, Rahobat Moisa, Anoki Tehuti Akenreye, Terry Jamal from Zambia. So I have a quick question from the scroll, The Secret of Tones and the Makfuzat. So reading from verse 34, which says, when a woman joins with a man who has not transformed and drinks of his white wine and mixes her red wine with his, and they give birth to a sour son, this causes her nebet goat, yellow light of Atunre to go out. 35. She, Gayura, transformed into a woman of man. So I'm trying to understand verse 35, which says, she transformed into a woman of man. So what does that statement mean? Maybe if you could kindly go into details.
Okay.
Zamal.
No, Shakal Zamal. I'm trying to find the scroll. But yeah, it's talking about, have I got it? Bear with me, I'm trying to see if I've got it. I don't think so. Can you just play? I don't think we've got it upstairs. But yeah, just play. I don't have.
The Secret of Tones and the Makfuzat. So reading from verse 34, which says, when a woman joins with a man who has not transformed and drinks of his white wine and mixes her red wine with his, and they give birth to a sour son, this causes her nebet goat, yellow light of Atunre to go out. 35. She, Gayura, transformed into a woman of man. Okay. So I'm trying to understand.
Yes. So yeah, it's when you're saying he's white, like it's basically talking about the sperm and the ovum, and the fact that it would be great if I had the scroll, but I don't have it. But it's about the activation of. Remember, the whole scroll, Maf Kozet, is talking about what people refer to as the liquid gold or monatomic gold, elixir of life. And this Maf Kozet is something that used to secrete once you had your barythry gland, which would work with your pineal gland and your pituitary gland. And this is what is required to transform yourself into supreme beings and to have the ability to travel long distance in terms of intergalactically, like I was explaining before, or like in what we call warp speed. This is a formula that is required to transform us. So when the master keeps saying to us things like, clean yourself inside out and be prepared and be ready for the journeys, because in order for you to make that journey, you have to be clean inside out and then receive your barythry gland, which then gives you the ability, right, that's why when you see the Eye of Horus, that is really dealing with the section of the brain when you look at where the pineal gland is, and then they show you the cone shape. But that Mafkul Zet is required, and that will then transform you back into a deity. And so that liquid is it was within our blood. And this is partly why the Adamites, the Europeans, they used to dig up our, ancestors, crush the bones and ingest it and take it so that they can receive this, what they call elixir of life, because they knew that to become a golden child in that way, you needed to have that mafkuzet. The master has it, but he's said he hasn't transferred it to any of his offspring so that they could misuse it. But this whole process, this is why the golden children, or male and female, when they come together and they become one, because they exchange bodily fluids and then they're able to become one body. And if they've been able to do the work to clean themselves inside out and be ready, then you need to be able to be in that state. And when you're traveling, because the formula as well to be able to travel beyond the speed of light is how what we call being in in a warp bubble, right? Or space time. Like you have to, the master explains this in that scroll called Mafkuzet, where he explains that you use a process it's called contraction and expansion, where the craft that you will be in will then be in the bubble, because you are manipulating space-time to be able to travel beyond the speed of light. So yeah, I don't have the scroll in front of me right now, but that is really talking about how the woman can be activated, and then she activates the male, and then together they become one body, one being. And this is why when somebody's with somebody for a long time and they become one, they even start to look alike and behave alike. And people will look at them and say, are you brothers and sisters? Or, you know, because you're now becoming one being. So, yeah, that's the process of the Mafkuzet is in us, or should I say remnants of it, by way of the white, which is, he's talking about the white wine from the male, which is the sperm. And he's talking about the red wine from the female, which is obviously her ovum. And then the mixture together will produce the formula to activate each other and then to become one. You can also read a bit more about that in is God male or female? Okay, that's an actual fact. All right, so we've got Liz Wright, greetings, Saken Rahubat. And then we go Raye Sananda, for real, Tom Jones, it's black too. I can imagine him in a string vest playing dominoes. You're funny. But yeah, but actually you look at his hair, if you look at his hair, you know, his hair was curly, and, you know, he's got the dark, like I said, look at the dark pupils, dark, what people call hair or fur. It means there's some DNA, genetic DNA attached to the Negroid, because you have to remember that's the original seed anyway. Yeah, Thor Asgard in the Stargate SG-1 show was a real great acting. It was not a puppet. Okay, I've lost the chat, but yeah. Oh yeah, here you go, yeah. It wasn't makeup, like our master teacher would say, don't believe me, check it out. Exactly. We're in the day and time where extraterrestrials can walk right amongst you these days, because of how people have freedom of speech and they can dress anyhow, look anyhow. You know, you won't even know. You just think, yeah, they're just normal humanoid. But extraterrestrials have been here for a very long time. Okay, let's go back to the chat to see what else we have. Yeah, another thing as well, somebody was saying, you know, sometimes like we will break stuff down and we use a Bible just for clarity or for reference for people who don't know anything else yet, right? So we walk people through using what they know. But that doesn't mean that we don't go outside of that, because I see on some videos in the comments people are like, wow, why are you talking about the Bible? Those characters never existed. Like, we don't know this. It's like, of course we know this. If you watch our videos and watch most of the content the master teacher has put out, he's covered everything from religions and where they came from, and obviously the characters as well, and we know that. But when you're speaking to someone who is only familiar with that book, then you have to use the references that they can relate to it. Obviously, then you can walk them backwards or through it to say, okay, that character didn't exist. It's a story that's been taken from ancient Egypt as, you know, Ha or Haru, which becomes Horus, which then becomes, you know, your Tammuz story, or your Jesus story, which becomes your Jesus story. But you have to tie in the dots. And we have been taught by a master, and that's the difference, because we tie it all in. We don't just stick to one thing. Like, we can talk about Christianity, we can talk about Islam, we can talk about Judaism, we can talk about the Sumerian schools, we can talk about the Egyptology schools, we can go beyond that, we can go all the way back to the stars from where we come from by way of our ancestors. So don't watch one video and just see me talking about using quotes from the Bible and think, okay, that's it, you're Christian or you're just like religious. No, it's to help those who are still walking their way to come out of that. All right. Okay. Right. If you want to call in, remember you can call in. If you want to have a one-to-one, you can also do that. All you have to do is email info@osmvision.co.uk and request your time and a slot, and we will get that arranged and book it in. There is more answers we need to know. That's from David Panford. Makita Andrews, he deserves more views. Thank you. We definitely do. And with your help, we can. That's why we keep asking for you all to like, share, subscribe, comment. You know, these things are based on algorithms. And like you say, you see people that get millions of views and they're not really giving you the value that you get from us. So help us to get to those numbers. That's the whole point. We want to reach the entire planet with right knowledge, right wisdom, and the right understanding. How did you get those part tracks? Nah, it's all right. If somebody asks a question and I need it, I'll ask for it. Right, anyone else? Right, let's have a look and see what's going on here. Mrs. TBJ, thanks again for your donation. I appreciate love. Anything about the difference between, okay, let's go back. Did the master teacher mention, this is from the real Apis. Did the master teacher mention anything about the difference between being nice and kind? Because one of the episodes, Osaru mentioned the key is being kind. It would be nice if you quoted the episode, but what I remember Osaru saying was, okay, let me pause that and take this live call. Rahubat, greetings, caller. What's your name, where you calling from, and what's your question, please?
My name is Marvin Shoes. I'm calling from Trinidad and Tobago.
Rahubat.
Yes? My question is this, right? If I am born as a black man, does it mean in my past lives I was always born a black, melanated, bronze, rusty-colored looking individual? Or was it possible that I was other races or of some other different type of being?
Okay, we can definitely say we're different types of being because you want to try that? We're different types of Torah. We are different types of beings because most people don't really know who they are because your eyes give you illusions. It's just a reflection of light, of vibration, and you have to really train yourself to be able to get to know you yourself, what you really like. And the master taught us about, remember we've talked about the mirror the mirror exercise that you can do to get to look and know who is in the mirror looking out, or the one that you are looking in, which is the real one. So I'm saying that to say that he explained that in time, if you continue to like really work and focus and get to know your real being, you could actually be able to manifest to yourself, much like how Yanun was able to manifest to him by coming out of himself to show him who this being is that is utilizing his skin suit as Malachi. But yeah, the first part of your question, yeah, you would be, because it's based on your DNA and bloodline. You can't just excuse me, come and take on the form of someone else that, yeah, that is not. But also, you could be able to manifest as a part of your family somewhere else or anywhere else in the world. What do I mean by that? Like, you could have a clone or could have a double, and those could be in other races. Like the master again uses himself as an example, where I think he explained in The Man from Planet Risk, where he said that there was a Tibetan who was his trying to remember if he said clone or double. I think he said clone, if I can remember correctly. So there are, different situations, but generally we come back in the family line of our bloodline.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
One question I want to follow up that with. Knowing that you had past lives before, possibly, and you may have in the future coming as well.
Yes.
How does one train oneself to remember certain information and to know? So when you are reborn into an existence that you are conscious and aware about fully,
yeah,
you can remember certain things and be able to coordinate that. How to get that remembrance into your spirit after death and to continue for the next existence.
Right.
To short my question.
I understand. The master teaches us that many times you won't be able to, because it's been erased on purpose by the elders, right? Because everything about you is kept as a record in what we call your me stones, all right, or your disc. So you won't be able to remember everything because it is wiped for your own protection and for you to not, because sometimes people say they want to remember or know their past, but it could be very traumatic if they were to find out. So this is something that is done as a protection. And although your cells, every cell actually stores memory, and the way you will be able to do that is in this life, you will be able to connect with your ancestors that are on the other realms, and they will then help you to remember certain things. So they will appear in your, what we call in your dreams, or when you're in a meditative state, you can then go, when you leave your skin suit, you can go and visit other dimensions and realms, and also interact with your ancestors or beings that will relay certain information to you. So when you wake up, this is why sometimes people will be like, it was so real, like I went somewhere, or they think it's a dream, or they say I had a dream, but it was so real. That's because it was real. And the master also say to us, how do you know this is not the dream and that you're really in the state when you think you're dreaming? That's the time when you're actually awake. So there are many things that he teaches us about how to learn and know more about us. And when you're saying coming back, have you been back before, or will you come back again? He said on average most people have been back 9,000 times on average. So
Wow.
it may be more or less. And this reincarnation process is to help you learn and master the realms that you're manifesting in, so you can move up and don't have to come back. So this time is a very specific and special time, because it's the beginning or the new cycle of 24,000 years as of 2000 AD when he came. That's why he's here. He's the glitch in the matrix. And
Yes.
so by opening that seventh seal in 1970, preparing for this new cycle, and the sixth ether cycle or the moon cycle ending in really in 1999, which was then bringing in the year 2000. And from that point forward, all the truths have to be revealed. And this is why the master teacher is here and putting out, Power Sawab. So it's really it's a magical time to be here now in his presence and in this cycle, because he can teach you how not to come back again and again and again and repeat that cycle. This is why when people are crossing over or having an out of body experience, they always explain they saw a white light, and that white light is that wormhole that they go back towards to come back here again and be reborn. And then, like you say, the memories are lost, but memory is stored in your DNA, and this is where quantum entanglement and epigenetics, these are sciences that will help you to be able to connect and reach out to those memories and to those ancestors that can help you remember who you are. Go ahead.
Yes. So, second, I understand that there are some documentation of persons who have remembered who they are and what they have done in the past.
Yes.
I've come across a documentary pertaining to persons of a German Reich, where this famous known Holocaust individual was called up in, and he was a 13th member. And these members had information from other lives from before, and they would have for the future as well.
Yes.
They even had codes to banking accounts and treasuries and many other things. Are
Yes.
these records certain, or is just for entertainment purposes?
No, some are real, because even like we spoke earlier on about Adolf Hitler, who was able to go back in time, right? And people can be also channeled from beings from other dimensions, and then the information is relayed. So they will give them that information. And when you look at time is not something that is linear, right? It's like it's more circular, if anything, and each circle is on a different continuum, right? If you research and watch, there is a series called Continuum that is recommended for those who want to try and fully understand what I'm explaining. So you can go back and forth in time. It's much like a record, like when we have the vinyl records and it's playing and it's spinning. But even though it's spinning, if you look at the record, there are grooves or little kind of circles within that disc. So the disc itself, when it's playing, is spinning, and then the needle that is placed at the beginning when you start the record, and it's playing and it's moving forward. I'm talking about people who are familiar with like vinyl, 7 inches, 12 inches. It will be moving, but you can then skip. You can lift the needle and go backwards, and there will be a piece of recording that was there, and you can go forward. And so time is like that, but if you go forward, you actually lose this time in the now, because you got now is constant, right? When we're dealing with time, now is constant, but now connects to then, which people refer to as the past. You have a then, and then you have a then in the future, which people refer to as the future. But both of them are connected to now, which is constant. And so you can always go back. Even if you think about memories, right? You can sit here and remember when you were a child or go through some incident in your past when you were younger or as a child and remember it as if it's today, and it is because you're accessing it at that particular moment. And then you can also, as you said, go forward, because if you've come back here many times, as I've just explained, up to 9,000 times, that means you've already gone and come back. So that's a cycle as well. And there are many cycles within cycles. So, yeah, it's quite complex.
So second, so all these times on average, Bobby Anun has mentioned 9,000 past lives the average person probably has.
Yes.
More or less, right? You have mentioned.
Yes.
You are saying that we have came across Anubis so many times, the way our heart so many times against a fellow in a literal place of existence where they are currently alive and doing this operation of weighing our hearts. So many times we have faced this.
Yeah, but
For
there
so
are
many
some
reasons.
people who have only come here for the first time, or like when I say first, yeah, they may have gone to other places before in the cosmos or lived other existences, but the golden children, where he explains that they were born from 1973 to 2003, those were actually specific new souls that have only come here for the first time. Not everyone that is born within that space of time, but just the golden children that are born during that specific time. So different people on the planet, you know, you can even do something called hypnotic regression, right? Where you're hypnotized to
Yes.
to remember past lives, and you know, some people are able to remember bits and pieces. And in fact, there's a scroll called let me see if I've got it, the designer genes, where the master explained about this young boy. Let me see if I can find it. It's very interesting and actually really relates to your question.
Yes.
Where this young boy is explaining that he remembered his past lives, and he describes everything, and he actually went with his parents to go to, let me see if I can find it. It's very interesting. If you don't have that, oh wait, is it this one? I think I've got it. Let me just check. No, I don't think it's the
Yes.
design. No,
I've been familiar with past life regression
Yeah.
through watching certain documentaries of certain therapists that use the quantum healing hypnotherapy to send persons back into past lives.
Yeah.
And many of these stories are quite, I would just say fantastic. But at the time, I didn't know if it was something correct because it's of another race of persons. So I was wondering if this is something legitimate or not. I
Yeah.
wasn't sure if
Yeah,
it was a
it
trick,
is.
yes or no.
It is. Even in the Man from Planet Risk that the master put out a long time ago, he explained about the time machines that they have and how they're able to regress you and go back in time and forward. But I mean, he put out that information such a long time ago. I don't seem to have the scrolls I want today for some reason. But yeah, I will encourage
Yes,
you to get
yes.
all of that scroll. It's not the designer genes. It's Plot of Aliens. I think that's the one, not designer genes. But I don't have it with me.
Of aliens.
Yeah. But if you're in our Telegram group, we will definitely post it in there as well for you to get hold
How
of.
to link your Telegram group? Once again, second.
Look in the chat. There's a link in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the
Excellent.
one, it literally says join the official Wu-Sabat Telegram. And then just click on that and you'll be in it.
Thank you for answering my 3 compelling questions. I do have
problem.
other questions, but I'll give another person another chance.
No
And
worries.
free Dr. Bobby Anun. Free Dr. Bobby Anun.
Free Dr.
Anun.
Malachi said you're for real. Thank you.
Yes.
All right.
Welcome.
Wadu. Okay, let's see what else we have. Right. Anthony, I'm just seeing some of the deception is trying to hide the light as a false light. So, as we say all the time, there are different types of lights. You have pure light, green healing light, and you have the amber light, which is the deception or the fire, right? We also know that light exists in darkness or comes from darkness, because you hear the term let there be light, which means light is turned on. Like if you look at a switch, you will always be able to turn the light on and off. So when we say light, you have to also recognize that sound can become light because you're dealing with vibrations. So sound can become light and colors because it's dealing with a vibration of that particular frequency. That's why there is a visible spectrum, and light can only travel at a particular speed because it's restricted by darkness. The darkness, we say, has many levels, such as triple darkness, which goes into ether, and ether has many levels. And so, yeah, when we're talking about light, we have to be very specific. So light, the destructive light, is used to blind people, because light can blind you. If you stare at, if light is, put in your eyes for a long time, like some of the Hindu beings, that they stare at the sun until they go blind. So there is false light and there is the true light, which is, the true light is where the master teacher came in. In fact, I just had something. Let me show you something. For those who can remember these, I've just saw it, so I thought it's kind of relevant to that question. Do you remember these, the true light? Yeah, these were the pamphlets that the master started to introduce. Actually, that's such an interesting one I've picked out. If I just read you a little bit of the cover, it says what? The Savior. This is going back 1992. The Truth, the True Light. This is where the True Light tapes came from as well. And this is saying the Savior. He appeared as Sayyid Isa al-Hadi al-Mahdi, calling himself an answer of the East onto the West. Now we know him as Rabboni Yeshua Ba al-Hadi. That's when we were going through these schools. It was in the year 1970 AD. We heard that he had arrived, but we didn't believe it, for he arrived like a thief in the night. Anything we asked him, he knew the answer, and many things we never asked, he knew we would ask, and he gave us the answers, right? He has a dark reddish brown skin color with eyes like flames of fire. The hair on his head is like lamb's wool. That was the first thing I noticed. You can't stare in his eyes long before you feel he's looking down inside you. He's a warm and happy, yet you see a deep sadness in his eyes. I once asked what it was, and he said with a slight smile, I have seen worlds come and go. Where I come from beyond the stars, we have seen many things. Now I'm sent here to a being who thinks I'm crazy. However, I will do my job. Those close to him can tell you he is not from here. He knows things you can't know from being here. He has seen all the faces of all the people of the Holy Scrolls. He says he speaks to everyone. They're not dead. They are in another world next to this one. This is just a test. He smiles and says, I know you think I'm nuts, but in time, the whole world will know I am here and who I really am. And if you look at that picture, you see that what he's holding in his hand? Last week, I showed a book with that. That's the lamb. And go on to the United Sabians website and you'll see that picture of him as the lamb, because he's the one that is bringing in that new scripture that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad spoke about, and bringing the new, what they call New Arabic, but you can hear it phonetically, it's Nuwapic, which is our language, Miss Batia. So in this new cycle, you know, and again, the word savior, don't think about the religious mindset. A savior is someone who comes and saves you. Anyone can save you in the sense of if you were trapped or lost in the jungle and somebody saved you, they could be referred to as your savior. If you were drowning and somebody saved you, they could be your savior. So a lot of time people misconstrue these terms like savior, like Messiah, you know, like it's not just down to one single person that is a savior or a Messiah.
Voice note.
Oh, we got a caller.
Voice note.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Greetings and Rahubat.
Rahubat.
Can you break down the origins of Hindu culture? And does it predate all cultures? And are they part of the different Adam and Eve stories? And did the Caucasoid come from them? If you can please break down the culture itself from India.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Tua. So, yeah, it's the oldest in terms of religion because they were the first beings that started to worship the original Nagaru beings. And yeah, when you say do the Caucasians come from them, yes, because when you look at the word Asian, that's like you're referring to the East Indian, who is a descendant of the Hindu beings. There's a big section in the holy tablets that goes into the whole kind of like Hindu genealogy and how they came down here, and there's some of them are very disagreeable, but when you look at the word Asian and then you say Caucasus Asian, you can see like, yeah, the graftation from the Asian to Caucasus Asian, or the Caucasus. I'm trying to find a bit in the holy tablets if I can give you a little bit, but yeah, they're the ones that were the original 200 fallen angels, meaning that when you look at the genetics of people on the planet, you look at the original black and brown seed, we have a trait which is our hair. We're the only beings on the planet really with hair. So you have a being that's got woolly hair or 9 ether hair and dark skin. Excuse me. And then if you then move from that to the next in evolution, then you're going to see a brown skinned being, but the difference now is the hair, because that's where the genetics in terms of coming from woolly hair to 6 ether, because you have 9 ether, you have 6 ether, and then you have ghost. Okay, so 9 ether is Nagaru or Negroid or Homo naledi, Homo habilis, dealing with the African. Then you have the East Indian or the Asian, or what you call the Denisovan or the Homo florensis, which is all the Asian stock, right? Who come from, that's where the Nation of Islam was saying when they didn't understand the language, because you had to understand the language and to know about genetics. And the people like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Noble Jew Ali, they didn't know that in 1953 they were going to do a project called the Human Genome Project, which will break down and give the different people on the planet their origins and their races. So they didn't realize that. So when they were saying Asiatic black man, when they were talking in the doctrine of, the Nation of Islam, they were going towards Asia. But then from those comes the Caucasians, and you're now dealing with 6 ether beings that came here, like we mentioned, the Pleiadians who came, who were 6 ether, blonde hair, blue eyes, which were the ones that inspired the being known as Jacob to graft and create what we call the Flugerods. And then you have later on the same Pleiades that were in contact with Hitler. They then also created the Adamites in their image and their likeness with the Anunnaki. So the two of them worked together, and so they were in the image of the Pleiadians, but in the likeness, in the nature that they had was the Anunnaki. So you got the Anunnaki and the Pleiadians both involved in the Adamites project. So yeah, as far as the Hindu beings, they came from a place called Nirvana. They came down and they were in a place called in India, a place called Bali, where is it Bali? Bali, yeah, Bali. I'm trying to see if I can find the section to read you. So I really do. There's a big section. The whole of their genealogy and history is in here in the holy tablets. Bear with me and I will look for that section. The holy tablets has got so much, so much information. My holy tablets has been very well used. It's literally like a papyrus falling apart now. Do you know, a lot of people have had this holy tablet since the 90s and still haven't read it completely. But there's just so much information. This is like the conclusion or the end of religion. All right, here I think I found some parts. See, with the lives, I know that it will take time to find the information. That's why we don't generally, because we want to get as many questions in as possible.
Where you find it?
I'm trying to find the Hindus, where they came down. I think I've passed it. Actually, let me use the, there's a glossary. Was it voicemail?
Yeah, what's my?
Yeah, play it one more time. I think I've answered the question, but I did want to find.
Greetings and Rahubat. Can you break down the origins of Hindu culture? And does it predate all cultures? And are they part of the different Adam and Eve stories? And did the Caucasoid come from them? If you can please break down
Right.
the culture itself.
Yeah.
From India.
Yeah, they're not the first. They come from the Nagaru. The Nagarus are the first, and then, as I explained, you got they come from out of the original Nagarus, and then the religion comes from them. That's why it ties in when you start to look at the being like Krishna, for example. Krishna is what became Christ from the word Christos in the Greek, and you can literally hear the phonetics. So as far as religion is concerned, that's the oldest religion, because that was the religion that stemmed from them worshipping the Nagaru or the sun beings. Okay, let me just read the first part of the Holy Tablets where it talks about the supreme beings, and then, all right, because, all right, here we go. I'm going to read, I can't find the other bit about the Hindus. I might look at it for it again. But if I go from verse 13, it says, Nuwapu informs you that there are three creations, right? The first one, original or primary creation, from primorius, from primus, first, before the lightest atom, hydrogen energies, existed as a form of energy, existing in the form of gases, 9 levels of them, from quarks to biaps to zeelis, referred to as subatomic energy, before weight or the sum of weight, registering as nothingness, yet existing, being lighter than the first form of existence, hydrogen. Then you have secondary or evolutionary creation, the evolving of existence from density to matter, to atoms, to cells, to organisms, to bodies. I break this down regularly because you have to be able to put that into perspective, from density to matter, to atoms, to cells, to organisms, to bodies. Then you have tertiary or tertiarious, from tertius, third or ghostational creation, the breath of life, the living soul, the existing conscious being. So primary creation was performed by 9 ether beings, simply Etherians, whose science is Nuwapu. 9 ether represents births, conception as in 9, and birth, or the sum total of numbers. There are no numbers actually higher than 9. Nuwapu means to convey a message that results in sound right reasoning. So there must be a conveyor and a listener. I got a caller.
Page 227.
Okay, thank you. I'll jump to that. Of a message, but I want to just touch on this part and then we jump to that. The message of life, the conveyor existence, 3 sets of 3 or triple darkness. The first set before light, before energy, before matter. The second set before time, before space, before place. The third set before body, before soul, and before spirit. So 9 ether is a combination of all existing gases of nature. Nothing anywhere can be as powerful as all the existing gases. On earth, these gases are known as, and then it goes through them, but there's a bit I want to get to, so I can get to that bit I want to talk about. Okay, here we go. So it says that as nature was growing, these melaninites were a part of the original growth. Melanin grew with original creation. To come along with a thing is to grow with or within it. Then it goes on to, this is the bit. 6 ether are 9 points from ether 1 into darkness. The melaninites manifest from point 1 in hydrogen on into 9 elements. The 8th being oxygen for life, the dot nagut, is the point of origin of things, the first. Okay, I have to jump again. Okay, now let me carry on. So, therefore, the melaninites are the evolutionary descendants and the personification of the original creative forces, who, 7 in all, as the 7 species of Riskians. So you have 7 species of melaninites, or Nuwapians, called Negroids. We now know there's 2 more, 9. And you have 3 species of Mongoloids and 2 species of Caucasoid, all growing out of the original Nuwapians. Simply, these melaninites created the universes in their etheric form. 9 ether then personified themselves as flesh and blood beings. They became human beings from atoms to Adams. Therefore, there are 2 kinds of ether, 9 ether and 6 ether in human form. 9 ether Negroid produced 6 ether Caucasians, and 6 ether produced ghost. Death not to be mistaken with ethers of the hair that range from 6, 7, 8, and 9 in their texture. from flat to hollow. 9 ether, let me take that.
I'll do it after one.
Okay, 9 ether will become 6 ether through time and age. Die, right? 6 ether becomes ghost through time and age. 6 ether albinos is 9 ether Nuwapians in death, and ghost is the death of 6 ether. So after the death of 6 ether, 9 ether resurrects again. 6 ether is the moon and 9 ether is the sun. Hence 6 ether is adverse to 9 ether, just as death is adverse to life. All right, what page was that? Let me jump to 227.
And it's from tablet 3, it says. Bottom right.
Okay. 227, I think you're right. So yeah, what happens is when you bring that onto the planet Earth, then you deal with the root races and then the beings that have come from the root races. Right, here we go, 227, yeah? 227's got a picture, so it must be 228. Let's go to
Chapter 3.
chapter 3.
Yeah,
You sure?
that's what it says.
Because 227, oh, you know what? I'm on 27, not 227.
Okay.
Yeah, 227. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. There we go. Right, you're right. Yep. See, I've got it all marked up as well. I couldn't find it. Right. Yes, this is the bit I was looking for. So if you go to 227, let me see where it is. Yeah, I'll start from,
Bottom right, it says
yeah,
low.
yeah. And I'm just trying to read a little before because when you go into it, bottom right. No, it's not that. Okay. If you look on 229. Okay. All right. Yeah. Here you go. If we go from, it's actually on my tablets, it's 232. Yeah. It talks about. Gosh, there's so much on this topic. Right. Let me go back a bit. It is 22. I go. Oh, yeah. Here you go. I go from 228. Right. From the bottom, it says from verse 16. Right. So this is chapter 3. And I'm reading from, it says, where the Hindu mix their seed with the shag. Actually, let's go before then. Okay, I'll go from, all right, so it says, from verse 11, it says, born into what is known as genus Homo, here millions of years before the arrival of the certain species of Hindus from the planet Nirvana, right? This is what I was talking about, right? Which is their own heaven known as the Enkiduites. So if you remember about Enkidu was the companion of Gilgamesh. So let me carry on. So the Enkiduites, 12, their purpose was to breed a daughter who was to be named Nekeba Hawa, mother of all living, who should be able to procreate. 13, a delegation was sent to the land of Nod amongst the Kuthites, not Kushites, the original Hindu people, right? So this is going into what the brother was asking about. The disagreeable Anakai of Singh, the 6th planet in Orion, also called Nirvana, and Procyon, which means before the dog, the 8th brightest binary star in the Canis Minor constellation. It is also called a dog star. It goes on, the dog being the Sirius star constellation known as the dog star, also cow, or as many know as Kileb, or Kulab, or Kulub, where the Hindu mixed their seed with the Shaggies. Then they came down to the planet Tiamat from the constellation of Orion. So Tiamat was one of the names of this planet. 18, these Hindus that ruled from their planet Nirvana, which they called heaven, right, were Sarasvati, also known as Satarupa, Savitri, Gayatri, and Brahman, deity of science, wisdom, and music. Sita, also known as Parthivi, an incarnation of Lakshmi, deity of love, prosperity, and learning. And Supe, deity of air, and it goes on and names all of them. And there's so much information on this, but I don't want to read all of it. But it starts to talk about Shiva, also called Siva, Rudra, and it goes through their whole kind of like history, and then it talks about Kali slew the general of the demons, and then you have Brahma. Yeah, I've read this before, and it's quite a lot of information. But as you've read it, it actually answers the question of where they came from, which is Nirvana, and they were originally in the land of Nod. They mixed with the Shaggies. That's why you have, when you look at them, they suffer from something called hirsutism, and that's where you have like fur all over your body. And when you remember, if you remember Enkidu, he was a shaggy being, so they descended from those shaggy beings. That's why he had the hair all over their body. And when you look at those shaggies, like the Bigfoot, we have a actual fact that goes into that as well, telling you about these shaggy beings that came from Sirius, but they're also descendants of these beings, and they have various, their culture like goes into like they walk on fire, stare at the sun. They're very extreme in what they do, and the master goes into a lot of information about them in Holy Tablets, chapter 3. Okay, cool. I'm going to leave it there, but get hold of that if you haven't got it already, and you can read the entire story. Right, let's go back to the chat, see how much. Oh yeah, I was actually answering a question before that. Did you have someone? Okay, let's take that. Rahubat, greetings. What's your name? Where you calling from, and what's your question, please?
Okay. Dre from London.
Get hold of that. Yeah, Rahubat, how you doing?
Yeah, not too bad yourself.
Yeah, do my best, thank you. Go ahead.
That's what we can do.
Tour.
So, if we can talk with our ancestors, yet it's mentioned some beings can revisit up to 9,000 lives. How old are the ancestors we are actually talking with?
Just to clarify, not revisit. You have 24 to 24,000 cycles or chances to perfect your being so that you can move up and go and don't come back here. In terms of time, there is no time for them, because time is only used for us to overstand, because once you come out of the time belt of the planet, because the way time is worked out here is based on the number 24, right? Because this planet is Project 24, and it was actually designed and set to grow. Our planet was set to grow to 24 points, and then having a circumference of 24,000 miles. And then the time that we use is each one of those miles is equated to like the time system. So we have like, we say an hour or 24 hours make up one day, and that's how we start our time. But going back to the birth of, or the planet when it was being designed in that project called Project 24, it kicked off from that point to be 24,000 years in terms of the cycle, which we refer to as an equinox, and every 24,000 years it starts a new cycle. And I'm saying that once you come out of the Earth's atmosphere, because the time is based on the planet going around the sun, and it fluctuates because the distance between the planet and the sun at certain times is further away from the sun, which makes it to be like 93 million miles away. And then at the other points where it's closest, because it's like this, it's like an elliptical orbit. So the points where are further away from the sun, the distance is going to be 93, and when it's at this side, it's going to be 91. So, but what I'm saying is when you're not going around the sun and you're not basing it on the movement being 365 days or thereabouts, because it fluctuates, 1 year to you, if there was another planet like we have other planets, like we're number 3, or what we call sector 3, if you're counting from the sun, that's the position of our planet from the sun, sector 3. If you're counting from the other way, it's number 6. We call that zone 6, and then the project is 24. This is important just to build a foundation to say that when you come out of that, you're not governed by time. So our ancestors have not, we don't have a birth date. There's no beginning or end to us, because like I said, your concept of time is only based around how they've set everything up for the motion of the sun. So we really don't have a birthday. We predate the planets, we predate the moon and the stars when you're dealing with our ancestors, or the overseers as we call them, Parnatharu. Yeah, but you have 9, you've come back here out of your 24 to 24,000 times. And when we say 24, that's because of Project 24. That would be the first, like I would say 24 hours in one day. It's like the 24 is like, okay, that's the beginning, and then you have up to 24,000 times. Most people have come back 9,000 times on average. So you've still got, quite a lot of time to perfect yourself.
So what would make an ancestor then? So if someone's recently passed, say for example in your family, but a being has up to 20 to 24,000 cycles, they could potentially, let's say for example they passed away last year, they could potentially still be going through another retry, just for lack of a better word. So
yeah, but the thing is, no one knows. Like, you don't know what cycle you're on right now. And when we say ancestors, you have to go back, say, from you going backwards to your mother and father, and then to their mother and father, which is your grandparents, and then going back to their mother and father, who would be your great grandparents, and going back to your great great grandparents, right? So that's your immediate ancestors in terms of you are the 4th generation from them. So you're linked to them in terms of your bloodline and everything, yeah? But everyone from each one of them have their own ancestors as well, which are all genetically linked to you. So you can have access to any of them. This is what we call epigenetics, or quantum entanglement, because nothing ceases to exist. It just exists in different realms and different dimensions and different vibrations and frequency. So the way you tap into them is firstly through your mother's side, because your mother holds the key to the form, like the mitochondrial DNA is through your mother and your grandmother. So the link is strongest in that way. That's why when you're communicating with them, we're taught to have that link with our mother and our grandmom, because that's strongest. But you can, if you didn't know them, they know you, and you can also skip a generation, but you're still connected to, like, say you didn't know your grandma, but you might know your great grandma, or you can still be connected to them that way. So first of all, like, so when we, sorry, last point before I forget, yeah. So you've got your Salafu, that's what we say in terms of ancestors, but then you have going all the way back to the Natharu, who are what we call the overseers. So if you need anything for yourself, you have to kind of go through your immediate ancestors. But if you need or want to do things for the entire, let's say, race or humanity, then you go to the Natharu. But you're linked to the Natharis through your immediate ancestors. You get it?
Yeah, I think I'm looking at the term ancestor wrong then maybe. I'm more thinking of family members passed away than like you said, the family line from the mum to the dad, etc. So yeah, maybe I'm looking at it wrong.
Yeah, when we say ancestors, we're mixing family or moesar, who are your family, like they're connected to you, but not as strong as the link from your mother to your grandmother, from the mother's side.
No, I get you. Okay, no, appreciate it.
No problem.
Appreciate love, should I say?
Appreciate that. Right, what was I in the middle of before that call came in again? No, we covered that. Oh yeah, I was going back to the nice and kind from the real Apis. He was saying that Asaru said, he mentioned the key is being kind. I remember Asaru saying, there's a term he uses. We said self and kind. He said that. But kind, yeah, it's good to be kind because when you're kind, you're showing that ashuk side of you, isn't it? You're being mindful, you're being caring. So yes, being nice as opposed to being kind is like, people can be nice, but it's not about being nice, but more about getting the job done. You see what I mean? So when you start to look at our mission, which is to do with in order for us to survive, in order for the legacy to remain, and in order for us to get rid of 6 ether forces, in order for us to want to have the type of world we say we want, it's about people that are dedicated, that are going to get the job done. It's not, because when you start getting into emotions and being nice to people, it shouldn't be that it's because somebody is nice to you why you do something. You should be able to do something because it's necessary and needed to be done. So obviously it will be helpful and better if you're nice to each other or you get along, but at the end of the day, you shouldn't put, it's like if you look at a colony of, say, ants or bees when they're working, it's just about the outcome of the project and getting the job done. So we meet a lot of nice people, right? People that, they read the books, they love the information, and they may even subscribe. But the reality is when it actually comes to the doing part and getting the job done and building and having the things we say we want, it's actually not that many people that will go to that next level. And those are the people that, not saying we don't like nice people. It's great for everybody to be nice. But if I employed somebody just because they were nice, but they didn't have the skill set or the work ethic to get the job done, I wouldn't progress, because the person can be nice but they can't do the job. So I think that's the sentiment that Asaru was trying to explain. Like, don't just employ people because they're nice. Can they get the job done? And it's nice to be, the way the master puts it is, I'm trying to remember the exact phrase. It's nice to be important, but it is more important to be nice. Yeah, so it's also about ashuk and knowing, like, yeah, I can love you, but if we got a job to do and you're distracting or you're not really fulfilling then I have to love you from afar. But I have to work with those that want to get the job done. And that's why we say a lot of the times, come in to Wu-Sabat, don't just say, where is our hospitals, or where is our, schools, or where is our businesses, or where is our community? Like you're expecting somebody else to do it for you. Come and be involved. Like people say, oh, how is the master teacher? Is he out yet? Like, what are you doing to help? Whatever it is to help, are you doing your part? All right, so let's move on to the next question. Pennsylvania in the house. So Kent and everyone up inside this culture, sending the shook. Yeah, Tawul Tak, Simon. Rahubat at Saken OSM for making the online language course so affordable and easy to understand. I will be fluent in Miss Batir in 6 months for sure. Yeah, I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because this is the key. One of the things the master keeps telling us, learn the language, because the language gives you a protection, and it breaks down the attacks that you're getting, because it's all about vibration and frequencies. Much like the Tower of Babel in Genesis 11 with Nimrod or Sargon or Nimra, right? This is what it was about. It was about the language that broke the hypnotic spell from the Anunnaki. So the Miss Batia, yeah, it's something that everybody worldwide now has access to. You just have to log in. Link will be in the chat. Or you can just search DS4S, that's Delta Sierra, the number 4 Sierra Academy, and you'll be able to find it. So DS4S Academy. Have we got another call? Rahubat, caller, what's your name, where you calling from, and what's your question, please?
Rahul Bat, Q calling from the United States. I was reading through scroll number 80. It's the white book with Dr. Malachi Z. York on the cover with the purple background. I had a question about the 144,000 I read. Is that pretty much where Revelations from the Bible comes from, that 144,000, where it says that he will return and he will give the 144,000 their Batharnary gland, and then he will take them for 1,000 years, and then there will be great balls of fire that's going to be dropped on the earth, turn it, and it'll turn the flames to kill off, I guess, the reptiles, the draconians, and then they will return with the 144,000 and be on a mountain, and reptiles will come to try to attack them, and they'll wipe all the reptiles out, and then they'll replenish the earth.
Tua, that's where it's coming from, because you have a biblical aspect in terms of a lot of these books. They're not original. They're plagiarized or copies from ancient tablets, but they put them into the Bible, and some of them they can't interpret or actually break down. So the book of Apocryphy, or the book of Revelations, which people see as the end time book, and like it's a book of prophecy of the end of the world and so on and so forth. Some of those things are manifesting as we speak, but some of them they can't interpret them, and religion will just give you their versions, but you also have the distortion that takes place, because for everything that is agreeable or positive, the way to confuse people with the Adamites or these six ether beings, they basically will give you an exact version, but on their side. So you kind of get confused. If you were to choose, you'd be like, which side do I go? But that confusion is why the incident that they speak about in Genesis with the tree representing knowledge, and Adam and Eve so-called being told by God not to eat of that fruit because they would die, was a way of instilling fear in them. But this being came along and said to them, no, you won't die if you eat it. Your eyes are going to be open and you're going to become like God himself. And so you will know good from evil, you see. So what I'm saying to you is that the 144,000 of the Anunnaki is them coming and picking up 144,000 people for food, right? And this is what I'm saying. So when you're in a position where you might hear about 144,000, and then these beings come along, and they say, yeah, we coming to get you. And you don't know that they're the distortion of the original truth. You go along with them, but they've made evil fair seeming. So now you think, that's why we say people talk about Anunnaki and extraterrestrials all the time, but they don't know who they really are in terms of the disagreeables. So when they come, they showed you this in the movie Independence Day, when you had a group of people that went up on the roof thinking that the aliens have come for them. And they didn't realize, you know, yes, you can go to an extraterrestrial or go on a craft or go with beings that are going to take you, but you don't know where they're taking you or what they're going to do with you. But then, like you've just explained, you have the 144,000, which is the true ones, where, you know, like the master teacher has explained, they will be taken and they will receive their barytheric gland, and they will be able to utilize all their full brain capacity and start to use those latent powers that the barytheric gland, together with the pineal gland and the pituitary gland, which allows you to become that supreme being. So yeah, those who are being taught and they're studying and doing all the things they need to do to be worthy to receive the crown are those beings. So yes, you have two stories, much like you will have, you know, the real Christians with the fake Christians and the real Muslims with the fake Muslims. And the real ones, their journey is to walk their way into Wu-Sabat, and then they get the rest of the information that they're missing in those religions. Did that help?
Right. It did. So just a quick clarification. So with that 144,000, like the ones that are chosen, let's say you transition before that time comes and you don't reincarnate and you were able to ascend to a higher level, you wouldn't have to worry about anything if you were able to ascend to a higher level?
Tour. Yeah, because this is only for those who are gonna get trapped down here. And those that the whole point of taking these 144,000, as you've described, is so that they can come back and help those people, you know, with them.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you go and you don't come back, you're good. That's the whole point.
Right. Because pretty much, you know, I was born AME Christian. So I mean, just, you know, listen to y'all the past couple of years, everything is coming from the scrolls and stuff that he wrote, Emerald Tablets, Numa Elish, all these different things. And it's just, you know, reinterpreted in their way of language to twist it or confuse you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty much what it sounded like.
Yeah, that's right. That's why we have to be here to show. It's almost like I was explaining before, that when you're crossing over and you're no longer in this skin suit, you're going to come across, you have to, this way even religion says to you, you're going to be questioned or come across decisions that you have to make, where one of them is going to be like your ancestors beckoning to call you to come towards them. But then you're going to have, if you've been programmed by like religion, you're going to have
to go into the white light.
Yeah, to go into the white light, or some of these beings that will appear like the image you have in your mind, or your, you know, your projection of how you're looking at them, because they can cloak themselves. So they can look like what, let's say you've been taught in Christianity that angels wear white robes and they're light beings. So you're going to see a being in light with white telling you to come towards them, to go through the light. And you're more than likely going to go that way if that's how you've been programmed in Christianity, for example. So yeah, it is all about...
They're doing that to have you reincarnate to get stuck to continue to feed off your energy, correct?
Correct, yeah, the looping, yes.
Last question. Is there something that we supposed to be preparing for by the year 2043? Is that supposed to be like the final year?
That's right. But 2030, see, a lot with us, a lot of people do this all the time. If we gave another day, say we said 2063, everyone's going to say, oh, I've got till 2063. But you've got things to deal with before 2030. And what we're talking about 2043. It's almost like the lazy gene makes people feel like, oh, we've got enough time. And then we keep procrastinating. But we've run out of time, to be honest. A lot of things that are rolling out now and that we should have not been caught up in if we had been preparing and listening to what the master was teaching us from 1970, in fact, we wasted 30 years from 1970 to the year 2000 because we were focusing and asking questions on just religions and, and then he had to then put wu-nuwapu or Wu-Sabat in its fullness away and walk us through the schools till we got to the point where we really just were fed up with it. We were like, well, who is this God? Where is he? Where is this Allah? Like, where are they? We started to ask questions that people would have said you're blaspheming, like you're not allowed to ask that question. Like, why can't you ask where God is? And if he's real, you see what I mean? So when we got to that stage, then he told us, you are the God you are looking for and God is. So now I got to teach you about what God is and what God isn't, because your concept of God by the lenses of religion is completely wrong. Your concept of angels by the lenses of religion is wrong. You're talking about extraterrestrial beings, and there are different types. They're agreeable and disagreeable ones, and they come from different constellations, and we are the original ones in terms of the highest, in terms of the Natharu. But the problem is trying to get you to wake up from the spell. And he says,
that was a spell of white magic, correct?
Right. If enough entities on the planet were awake and they were like, just even mentally saying they don't want to be a part of the 60s for this agreement, they will be able to wipe them off completely. But we are so embedded in the lies and in the world of six ether that it's very difficult. So we are the ones that are creating our own reality, because we say we want something, but then when it's given to you, you don't actually then apply it. So that's why I said at the beginning, a lot of people are becoming information junkies, because it's not about just getting information. It's about
not to cut you off. So 2043, is that what I asked about originally? Is supposed to be that final year when those things in Revelation supposed to happen that I asked about? The chosen 144 is supposed to be chosen with their Betharinary gland, and then that's when they would drop the stones of ball of fire and wipe out, I guess, all the reptilians and stuff.
That's happening now. It's not just going to wait till a specific moment. That's why I'm saying to you, it's happening now and going on till 2030, where they will be, the Adamites will be wiped off or removed off of the planet. And then the crafts that are lifting and taking people away by, like I said, by 2030, those who have been chosen and to receive their gland should have. And there was an update that we read very recently that the master was talking about how beings will be taken to Antarctica, where they will get this gland reinserted in the submental. I'm just trying to find it. Do you know the thunders in the holy tablets? Yeah, there you go. The seven thunders. It's the last page where it talks about the seventh thunder. It says the end of the world as you know it, the year 2030. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that from over there, but I actually highlighted that part. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that deals with 2030, but as you say, when you look at 2043, that will be the absolute last. In fact, the last lift has, it says that will be 2030s, but there will be a lot happening even between 2030 and 2043.
Right. Because that information I got from his son. His son does the podcast, and then he brought that up. So I just needed more clarification.
Yeah. Yeah. But what I'm saying to you is, and you're right, what you're talking about, what I'm saying is the time is now. We got to do what we need to do now. Like if you look around the world and see what's actually going on right now with, with China and Russia and the US and, all the war games, and there's a lot happening, and the time is now. That's why I keep saying to people, don't wait till the last moments. We should be gathering and working and doing things now. There are things that are being taught to those people that want to be a part of the 143,000. And if you're not in those orders and the schools of thoughts and being groomed, then you're not gonna know even what to do. You see, but yeah, that's a great question. Anything else?
Last thing. So let's say we are in it, and then that time comes, we're able to elevate. Once we elevate and we do everything that needs to be done, we will create a new sanctuary or paradise to live in,
Yeah,
and
that's
pretty
what I'm
much
saying. We're
just
doing
kind
it.
of like just live out from there, or you'll make a choice whether you want to still come back to, I guess, reincarnate or just ascend higher.
Well, we can't speculate and talk about things that are not happening, in the sense of, what I'm saying is that there will be a new world, which is what this is all about, in terms of once the Adamites are removed and the chaos and the thing is, there's a lot of it's based on us in terms of what we do. That's why we deal with fate, F-A-T-E, and not faith.
Yeah.
So right now we're supposed to have certain things achieved already, certain communities and certain things built, because the protection from the Natharu is around when we're living our culture and doing the things we're supposed to do. So we're not going to be on the menu or get caught up. Like when we had our own land, right? This was part of the reason why it got infiltrated, because that would have been a group of people that are living outside of the sixth ether system, and the energy and the vibration and everything, learning their own language, doing their own thing, would give you a protection. Because if you're not, say, in the public schools, for example, and you're in your own school, which is in your own jurisdiction, in your own land, in your own sovereign land, then you're going to be at risk with someone coming into the school and shooting up the place. That I'm just showing that there's certain things that, by way of us building and having our culture in full practice, means that you will be under the protection of the Natharu. And even now, there are things we say to people to do, they don't do it. So it's almost like, do we really want this? If you really want it, you know what to do. No, you. I'm not talking about you direct specifically. I'm just saying in general.
Right. Yeah, just in general. I understand.
Tua.
All right. Thank you. Tua.
You're welcome. Yeah, someone's saying, okay, R.T. Ellis. Rahubat, my brother. Firstly, I want to say free the master teacher, Dr. Yorks. Secondly, I want to ask you, my brother, is there any congregation place for our tribe in Baltimore, Maryland? I'm sure there is yeah, go on the United Sabians Worldwide, let me see, and go to contacts, and there should be a list of all the, let me just go to it quickly, a list of all the nearest location. And if there isn't one, just pick the next nearest one to you. If there isn't one anywhere near you, then just join an online community. Right, here we go. So if you go to contact, there's a list of, wow, I can't read all of that. Anthony, you have to come and do a one-to-one or speak to us in the Telegram group. That's so long, it's almost, look, have you seen it? Yeah, sorry, we literally don't have, we have about maybe 22 minutes left, so we can't read all of that, but, right, yeah, so I'm looking at the, if you go to contacts on the website, I'm familiar with America, but not like what's closest to what, but.
I sent them the link.
Okay, yeah, so check that out and join our Telegram group so that we can link you with the nearest location. But again, I've lost the chat, so let's go back to. Yeah, go on then. I don't. The time's gone so quickly. Go ahead.
A question on Facebook is, what is ADHD?
I mean, we scientifically, or are you? Because the thing is, like I was saying before, some of these types of questions, you know, our brother Dr. Uma Johnson, who's a psychologist, he talks about this all day long, and so in the circular world, that obviously they're talking about attention deficiency hyperactive disorder, which is big words to say people that they don't have or spend enough time, their attention span is very short and they can't sit still, they need to move. And obviously when they apply this to children, they're saying that these children have a disorder. But then if you look at, that's what I'm saying, we're not giving medical advice, disclaimer, but Dr. Uma Johnson and certain psychologists and certain people, they study and say like, the educational or the school system in the way it's been designed hasn't really evolved for thousands of years, where you have young boys who have a lot of testosterone, they want to be active, they want to move around. You can't put them to sit down for long periods of time and listen to somebody just talking at them. So what I'm basically saying is like, you'll always have what people say in mainstream, and then when you start to look at the fact that who are you talking about, because different children, different races, different cultures are gonna react differently. But in terms of Nagaru boys, they need activity, they need to be stimulated with their mind so that they are gonna be, they're not gonna just sit down and like, so what we're saying is the educational system needs to evolve in the way you learn. And so it's even like people that they would classify as being, what's the word? Not ADHD, the other one, where they basically dyslexic and, you know, these types of things. It's because even the ones they refer to as savants, they're very intelligent, but they need, what was that movie with a young boy, where again it relates to this, because I can't remember the one. It was a young black boy, but he had powers, and so they're very smart. They refer to as savants, where they can actually maybe see like mathematical formulas and just break things down, or they need different types of stimulants. That's, do you find it? That's the one. Yeah, you're good. I like your research skills. Raising Dion, that's the one, right? Check that movie out and it will really answer the question. But so in anything, you have a system that defines things and say, this is how we do things. This is the curriculum that we study. This is the way the school system is run. And this is how you should get education. But the world has changed and evolving to the point where you have to look at other methods of teaching people, young people, and giving people what is appropriate for them, not just a bunch of people put together in one classroom and you give everybody the same, like, one size fits all. Go ahead.
This is a different question.
Yeah.
What is the real marriage what is real marriage spiritually, not just in documentation?
Right, so that's a good question, and that's where we talk about soulmates. We have a part of that called soulmates, Thank you very much. There you go. Part of that soulmate, yeah? Because it's about, that's such an excellent question. It's about two people coming together and becoming one as one being in terms of energy, and they're then able to behave and produce offspring that's also the same. So it's two spirits becoming one soul. That's what we're talking about. It's not about a piece of paper. It's not about, what do they call them in America where they sign prenups and all that. It's like, that's not what it's about. You're talking about two beings, two spirits coming together to become one soul. That's what real marriage is about. And in our 33 commandments, if I can find it, I'm terrible with my books today. Oh, there you go. Yeah, you're on point today. Yeah, that's why they say two heads are better than one, right? Yeah, we have marriage ceremony, and the master put out that scroll even when we were going through the schools of religion, but it is about two spirits becoming one soul. It's about two brains becoming one, left and right brain. It's about the union is supposed to produce outcome in terms of everything that you do together, and it just works and flows. But when people get together based on just like physical attraction, desires, lust, and the wrong emotions, then that breeds the outcome, brings about the problems that we have with a lot of the karado or the children that come out. So they can become fire children or become, so every golden child, because I just explained that two spirits becoming one soul or two people becoming soulmates, they can produce golden children. And then the others, they produce what we call fire children. There's another part of that called rams as lambs, which also explain this, because other than people coming together on lust and, dealing with sexual desires, it is really about offspring. And what are we doing? Are we a part of the problem or we are part of the solution? And a lot of times people bring about entities. You might call them children and look at them like that. You might look at them, but they're growing up to be something. And as adorable and cute as they may look at the beginning, when they grow up, what do? Do they bring about more chaos on the planet, or do they bring about, like things to help humanity? And so you might look at a child and they're adorable when they're just born, but supposing that child grows up to be a terrorist or someone that is, unaliving people by doing, what the six ether forces or spirits behind them are going to do. I'm trying to find the section in our commandments about marriage, but I can't find it. But yeah, rams as lambs. You see, the master teacher, literally, he doesn't leave any stones unturned. Like, he covers everything. So rams as lambs is what I just explained, where, you have to look at the natures of a ram and look at the nature of a lamb and see what you're producing as, offspring. So yeah, that's this one. Let me see if I can. Yeah, so I'll read a little bit. It says, Likum ay nuwapu yasar ay karadu. For you all, my Nuwapian family, my children. 2. This is said in many ways. Wolves in sheep's clothing, goats and sheep, imitators, pretenders, fakers, impersonators, imposters, false characters, deceivers, liars, actors, when a person or people, group, race, pretends to be another group or race. When a person or people group race acts as another's culture or za'am religion opinion, it becomes an evil ram acting as a good lamb, a wolf acting like a sheep, a devil acting like a good being. You find the Caucasoid race of cursed lepers have no real culture, and they seek to hide or disguise their own ancient 6,000-year-old Wiccan, Druid, Zamat religions, opinions of sorcery, Satanism, witchcraft, and demonology, and disguise it as Zamat religions, opinions of Ibrahim, Hebrewism, Israelitism, Judaism, Mohammedanism, and Islamic Moorism. And it goes on and on to explain what we're really talking about when we come down to it, which is, you know, there are only two sides really, agreeable and disagreeable, and you can pattern yourself to be on the side of agreeable, or you can pattern yourself to be on the side of disagreeable. And this is what they call the battle of good versus evil, and you can look at that in all levels. Sorry, you can't find the one on the marriage, but yeah, that's what real marriage is about. It's about the union of two people. We have another one?
Yeah, I can give you.
Go on then, let's go for it.
What ether would Latino, Oriental, Native American, and East Indian people be?
That's a mixture. You've mixed people in the two. So when you say Native American, the Native Americans became what people are calling American Indians, but that's a mixture of, simply they will be referred to as Denisovan or Homo florensis, which is 7 and 8 ether, yeah? And what was the other part?
What would Latino, Oriental, Native American, and East Indian?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. When you're saying Latino, again, what mix are we talking about? Because that's kind of Latin American when you say Latino, but we classify people based on the way the anthropologists, because remember that a lot of new information has been found. It's just that people have, once they find this information, they kind of like suppress it and not talk about it anymore. So let me give you a quick example. I know we're running out of time. Yeah, here we go. So I'm going to read, this is from Pa Sawab, which is the truth. And I just want to read this bit where it says, why do they, Gaul, ignore the newly uncovered scrolls, Wajuba, found in Egypt, Nag Hammadi, on the Gnostic Gospels that tell a whole different Hakkei story about Tatmud, creation, the gods or Gorgons. Jesus married and had Karadu children, and so much more, as well as Fawej outside of Jerusalem in the hills. They found the Qumran scrolls, Dead Sea Scrolls, with many Dajua, Safa'at, lost books, not found in the present Bibles, with different and or complete Hakkei'at stories of Tatmud'at, creations, angels, who Gasuba, raped earthling Zazastatu women, Laduda, birthed Romu'u, giants, who were Mubshar, Bashar'u, cannibals, cast down to Tahar, earth. Why don't they acknowledge the thousands of stone tablets found in Iraq, Mesopotamia, the Sumerian stone tablets? They tell the dominion over other Salalu races of Shakasu people on Tahar, earth. They would Raju return to Nefesh, self, and Nawar, kind, as one, Afafreye Ka'a, right? This is your Africans, Africa. 2, Atralu, Aborigines, Australia. 3, Dravadu, Indians, India. 4, Nagalu, Asians, Asia. 20, the result is what you are seeing now from the year 2000 AD to now those of Mosism, Jesusism, Mohammedism, Wu-Jawaism, Jewishism, Wu-Karast, Christianism, and Wu-Salam, Islamism. Na, Kafuf, fighting, and Katul, killing one another, self-destruction. Their Za'amat religions, their governments, and their people is fading away. Fallen is fallen. 22. This is what the coming forth of wu-nuwapu is doing to them for others to power world over. Now that by way of wu-nuwapu, Wu-Sabat, the Tapal world is being informed, and they're even being informed of their own history, past and future. Their Za'amus, Kathab at religion, lies and plagiarisms, parts taken from Dravadu, Indians, culture of Wu-Handa, which is Hinduism, and parts taken from Persians, Za'am religions, which is Wu-Zarastar, Zoroastrianism, and parts taken from Afafreye Ka'a, African culture of Wu-Sabat, animism, Egyptianism, as well as parts taken from the Sumerians' religion of polytheism. These are how the Tamuda created their monotheism out of many ones, or in Gadad, God we Saduk trust. Yeah, they are the Karado, children of their Muldad father. The devil, Akkadians, called him Sin. Sumerians called him Nana. Persians called him Atar. The Hebrews called him El Shaddai. The Arabs called him Ash-Shahid, son of Enlil, son of Anu, Ilion El, the Most High, the god of the Ahar Dawar moon cycle, or the Ahar Gadad moon god, crescent god, Allah, Baphomet, Pan Go, Azazel, or Satar, and it goes on. So basically, there's a lot of information that's been found, but they're not telling the world. We've got 3 minutes left, so do you want to give me one more? Let me see if there are any in the...
What is junk DNA?
Gosh, that junk DNA is DNA that they have found, because they talk about, you got 76%. Sorry, let me just make sure I'm giving you the right. Yeah, 76. Yeah, so 76 plus 24, right? So they're saying a lot of DNA that they don't know what it does, they just refer to as junk DNA. But it's only junk to people that don't know what it is or what to do. In us, it's not junk DNA, because when you're looking at the Human Genome Project, they're able to decipher what genes do what. So yeah, what they're calling junk DNA is not junk DNA to us. It's only because we've only got literally like 2 minutes left. You should join our class on Saturday or join the Telegram group, and we can go into more detail. But basically, scientists don't know what it is, so they just say it's junk because they don't know its use. But for us, once we're activated and we're able to... You go, caller? Yeah, so it's not junk to us, but we can go into more details in the group. For you that are new, please make sure that you subscribe. Okay, we got a caller. All right, last caller for the day. Go ahead, caller. What's your name, where you calling from, and what's your question, please?
Wu-Sabat from the States. My final question is, I was reading through the scroll number 80, and I had a question also too about the ancestors that originally came, the 12 elders that seeded the planet.
Sorry, what scroll is that? The title?
Scroll 80, Man from Planet Risk.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've got it here.
I read in there, it said after they seeded the planet, they traveled and went back to their planet. And it takes like a certain amount of years, I guess like a couple thousand years in our time. And when they were gone, that's when these other extraterrestrials came and pretty much did whatever they wanted to do because there was nobody, I guess, there to protect us. Is that true? Because like they left. And that's when other people came down and was just having their way, doing whatever they wanted to do.
Tua, partly in the sense that, you see, when the distances that they have to travel and to get there and come back, it's a long time in our time.
Right.
So, yeah, originally this planet was, as if you read actual fact, existence, how and why, it explains that before anybody else came to this planet, it was the Natharu that came and seeded the planet, and as you said, left it, and it was balance, harmony. It was referred to as the green zone, and there was no sicknesses, no diseases, none of that. It was just a pure, and they were gonna go and come back. And so you're right, when these other beings came down here, they came and they started to rape and mix their DNA with these beings. And as the stories keep getting watered down and passed on, it ends up in your Bible today as, in Genesis 6 verse 4, where it's talking about the Nephilims coming down and calling these the sons of gods. But when you're saying sons of gods, you're literally saying extraterrestrials. So you're right, that's when those extraterrestrials came in, and then they started to mix with those descendants of the Natharu, which are what we refer to as Pataites, who became your Sans people from Africa, from where everyone gets their genetic traits. But you're right, once they did that, it was chaos because they then mixed their DNA and everything, so they had to be quarantined and put in a section called the red zone, which was referred to as Zupu, and the green zone was now referred to as Nupu, which is part of the world.
If the elders never left, would those other extraterrestrials still had came and tried to do that with the elders being there?
Yeah, because what happened is that it's like many beings, star systems just die when their suns explode or die. Like the planet we're on is a part of a solar system with other planets, Mars, Jupiter, etc., right? But the sun, the sun is what's keeping us here. Now, if our sun was to die, which is something that they're trying to do in terms of depleting the ozone layer, which is a protection to not allow the UV rays, the ultraviolet rays, to come through, because they will basically wipe us out. We were given melanin as a protection as well, but we're running out of time. But going back to your point, there are beings that once their star system collapses, they have to find refuge or residence elsewhere. So this is how sometimes people will discover other galaxies or other planets, or they may break what we call immigration laws. Just like now, where a lot of people are coming from different countries, say to the UK, because wars and things are going on their land, and they just got to escape. So sometimes, like even the Anunnaki, they discovered this planet by accident because, they were looking for gold to take to, like they're dealing with the ozone layer as well. They needed the gold because gold is a conductor and it's a reflector, and it can be made very thin. And so they were looking for gold, but because the accident took place where they, Meldick, they crashed into Meldick, and then, came and then crashed into Tiamat, which was the name of this planet before, they then discovered that there was gold here. That's why they came here and said, oh, that very thing we were looking for, because of the accident, they saw it in the astral belt. And so they were the gold particles of the dust that we're looking for, because they knew that the Natharu, we have that gold within us naturally as the Mas Kuzet, as we were saying before. So that's how they came down here and said, oh, we can now mine this gold to take it back. But they had to set up on like Mars and the dark side of the moon and so on and so forth, and then brought ships and had Enki to manage the project, and then they were terraforming the planet, and then they started to mine the gold. And then you had other beings I heard got word of this, and then they also came. So we were talking about the Hindu beings before. They came down, and some of them were cast down, and they went into Bali in India, where you call the 200 fallen angels, or the land of Nod, where the story of Cain and Abel, when he was being casted out, he was going to the land of Nod. That's how we say to you that there were people on the planet before Adam and Eve and the Cain and Abel story. And there were different parts of the planet that got destroyed. So the Noah story, for example, is talking again about a flood. So what I'm basically saying to you is that even though this planet was originally seeded and owned by the Natharu, eventually you had other beings coming here. You had shaggy beings that came here from, you know, like the ones I mentioned before, from Sirius, the Octorians, the, what do you call them, the Andromedans, etc. So, yeah, I think, yeah, I don't think that, because you're saying if the Natharu were here, would it happen? It's still like, now today,
Yeah, pretty much what I'm saying is if the ancestors stayed, would they have protected us from those other beings mixing with us or taking advantage of us, or it still would have happened anyways? Because when you got different beings, they're always going to create some type of war or conflict because one person always wants to be in control of another.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So for example, the being that becomes the devil in religion, that was Tarnush, as you know, right? He's known by many names. And when their star system crashed, they were given refuge on planet Risk, right? Because Risk has 3 continents, you know, Danuria, Cosmusta, and what's the other one? I've forgotten the other one. But so he then, like you said, decided he wants to take over the whole planet. And then that's how the war started, because he was already controlling many star systems. But the wars meant that people fled. And then even in terms of the Anunnaki story, Alalu was contesting Anu to be over the throne. And then he was cast out and he ran as well to come to Earth. So if you think about it, like even when you watch the movies, like you can get in a craft and escape and then try and find what other planets where there's life form, and then you go there and but yes, I think the experiments were then done, like you say, to try and keep them, like the different Adam and Eves were experiments to see how they could breed out the disagreeable genes that these beings came in and mixed with those. Because remember, when you're looking at Eve, or who they call Eve, Nekeba, she was from the seed of Ptah and Anath. And then you look at Adam, he was from Atum and Lilith. They go back to these Hindu beings. That's why when you look at the pictures that the master teacher put out of Zakar, he had the 6 ether hair and it was dark. He was like a East Indian. So yes, you're right that they tried, once they realized what had taken place, they tried to do these experiments, and that's why they talk about the Garden of Eden, and they were supposed to be looked after. If you go back and read the Anunnaki stories, it was like a being, I think it was Katrael, was over them. Kalkael was put over them to look after them and keep them in this enclosed garden so that they would be groomed and brought up in a particular way. But then, as the story goes, they ended up, you know, being beguiled, and then they had sex, and then they got, you know, kicked out of the garden and so on and so forth. So yeah, it's a different situations, complex stories, but they realized that the Adamites then came in as well, and it's become chaos since because of the mixing. So we've gone way over time.
I'm gonna do one more after.
One more question, yeah. So yeah, that's what's happened. And today, it was what the master teacher was trying to do to raise the children. And he had a garden, or what we call tamaray, where they were being groomed and being taught and brought up and kept away from the sixth ether world. But as it ended up happening, beings came in and infiltrated, brought things in and showed them things that they weren't supposed to. And a lot of them, when they left, when our land was taken and they left and went into the world, it was like they just went to the land of Nod and they started doing all the things that, you know, they didn't know about because they were very guarded from that. And then what happened? The land got taken, the master teacher got, you know, wrongfully incarcerated, and now chaos. And we're trying to find those beings and those people that want to actually, you know, rebuild and come out of, like it says, come out of my people so that you will not partake of their plagues. But many people don't want to do that. They talk it, but when it comes to the reality of sacrificing and living for and by each other, they don't want to do it. All right, give me your last question so we can wrap up.
See, he's gonna go, yeah.
All right. Wadu Zaman.
The last question from Ray Sananda. He also donated £10.
Yeah. Okay.
Twin flames, are they in Wu-Sabat teachings? Because I've had all my exes tell me that I'm their twin flame. I'm so confused to which one it is, if it's a real concept.
Yeah, it's true. And you can actually have up to 7. And the reality is knowing and finding out, as you say. I mean, a lot of terms and concepts now in the world, people just use different things, but really it is about the soulmate. But yeah, it is a real thing, but you have to understand and know, not just based on the terminology that people are using today. And, you know what I mean, they might come up with their own description of that. But yeah, you can have 7, as the master has taught us. They could be anywhere in the world as well. That's another thing. The brother that wrote along, I'm just going to read this because he's urging me to. He says, I urge you to read my long message as it is a way out of the 6 ether system that you were talking about previously. But it is very long, and no disrespect to you, but we know how to come out of the 6 ether system. We're just trying to get other people to apply it. But you're right. I've read some of what you're saying. And love, which is a shook, because you say, in love and realize we can create heaven on earth for all beings. And that's true. That's what we were doing. But because of, you know, the wrong mentalities, people don't realize that we have to come together as one. That's the real message to close on. Love and unity, as we say, a shook is the key.
Video coming out Friday.
Oh yeah, the video's coming out Friday. What's the title?
4 Christians versus 3 non-believers.
4 Christians versus 3 non-believers.
We don't believe.
Yeah, we don't believe, as you know. But another interesting watch, get your popcorn, get whatever you get to get relaxed. Hit that notification button so that it can let you know when the premiere is up. And yeah, until next week, same time, same place, come and join us. All right. Well,
Curtis just said a shook so I can have 7 gal.
Yeah, I like how you keep making jokes of these things. Like, these are serious things, but some people have those DNA, the genes of, the master explained it, like certain genes will make people that are just comical all the time. But, you know, laughter is good for the soul, so it's always good. But yeah, but take it seriously. It's not a joking thing. Okay, so finally, we want to say we have a friendship event coming up, which is, you know what, we always give you the real to replace the, yeah, look out for the flyer, right? We always give you like what they're talking about calling Valentine's Day, which is February the 14th. We have Friendship Day. And it's an opportunity, especially for those in the UK, to come and meet and greet us and have fun. There'll be food, drink, entertainment, live music, and we're gonna post the Eventbrite link in the Telegram chat and in any of our platforms. There will be free tickets for the first people that join, but we need to know how many people to cater for. So it'll be great for you to make a reservation, RSVP, and let us know if you're gonna come. And yeah, we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna also a special class will be also given at the end. So yeah, don't miss that. And we look forward to seeing you, because there are many people all over the UK, and this is an opportunity for you to come and meet with us in person and get to socialize with us. And yeah, so see you next week, same time, same place. And on Saturday, I will be teaching class, so hope to see you guys there with your questions. The class is going to be called Give What You Take. And we'll go into that on Saturday. All right. Moisa,